Have you ever been on an airplane with your toddler and you thought, like, what am I getting myself into? Or maybe you're a bit nervous for that first flight with your little one. And so we've honestly had a ton of chaotic travel moments with our almost 2-year-old baby Olivia. And so we thought, what better way to share our knowledge, share our past struggles than to put together a video where we're going to talk about our top tips for traveling with a toddler and some of the things we wish we would have known prior to embarking on our first flight with baby Olivia. So without further ado, let's cue this intro and get into our top tips for traveling with a toddler.
What's up, YouTube? Trevi from the Adventure Buddies, the modern travel family, bringing you another video filled with tips, tricks, and inspiration to make sure you maximize your next family adventure, like we always do here at the Adventure Buddies.
The first section of tips we want to cover is that pre-travel preparation, because this is where the travel stress is going to creep in, but you're going to set yourself up for success if you do it right. And so the first main thing is making sure that you pack your carry-on or your diaper bag efficiently. So we're not just talking pack everything you need, and you probably will need a little bit more than you think, right? So think through that extra pair of clothing both for you and your little one, but also make sure when you are packing, you're keeping it nice and organized so you know where things are when you need it, because you don't want to be rummaging through a huge diaper bag when chaos ultimately hits. So tip number one, make sure you pack efficiently in that diaper bag or carry-on bag. Then the second thing related to pre-trip preparation is making sure you understand some of the new TSA guidelines that you're going to be encountering on your upcoming flight. So you're going to want to make sure you bring your baby's documentation. So think through a birth certificate or copy of it, just in case they ask. You don't want to get there and then be in that scenario. We've heard plenty of horrific stories there. But the other thing you should know is that there are some different things you can get through TSA security that you might not even be aware of. So for instance, if you are traveling with formula or just want to bring your baby's favorite milk, you can actually bring that through TSA even if it's greater than 3.4 ounces. You just need to notify the TSA agent. They're just gonna run a couple of tests and you're good to go. And so if you're enjoying some of these toddler travel tips up until this point in the video, please consider giving us that big thumbs up and hit that red subscribe button for more travel tips and adventures. And so let's get into our next set of tips. Next, let's talk about the actual airplane. So before you even get on the airplane, it comes our next tip, and that is make sure that you run around with your baby and try and get some of that last minute energy out while you can, so your baby may be a little bit calmer and or more likely to sleep while on the plane. The second tip is when you are going on the plane, we encourage you to board when the family's board so that you can get situated and organized ahead of time before the rest of the crowd starts coming in, so you can be better prepared for the in-flight chaos. And then the third tip is make sure that while you're on the plane that your baby has a ton to eat in terms of snacks, just to distract them, keep them from being hangry, but then also make sure you have toys or forms of entertainment. So whether you're pro screen or whether you're not pro screen for a kid, that doesn't matter, but make sure you have enough toys and or activities for entertainment purposes for your kid. Trust me, you're gonna need more than you think, because based on your baby, they may wanna jump from activity to activity, but keeping them stimulated in that chair is gonna be your best recipe for success. And then as we wrap up this section, our last tip while in the plane is something we wish we would have done or would have known ahead of time and do now going forward, is make sure that you and your partner actually talk about your plan. So understand, where's the baby gonna sleep, what activities are you gonna agree to, or snacks, or etc., to make sure both of you guys are on board. Maybe you wanna switch halfway through, etc. But having a plan is not gonna only make things smoother, but probably keep the stress out of the relationship. Now, the next section we're going to talk about is when you actually get to your final destination. So that's going to come with a couple different nuances. And so now you are traveling with a baby or a toddler, you've got to think through, how do I get that person transported in the car? So what car seat do I need to have with me, or do I need the rental car service to have a car seat ready to go for my baby? So just a new thing that you have to think through. And so that's going to play into how you pack for things, etc. But make sure you figure out that car seat situation. Second thing for destination preparation is call ahead to the hotel and see if they have a crib or an additional bed, whatever your toddler's sleeping on, available, and if they could have that set up for you ahead of time. So the key word is ahead of time. So you want to be able to get to that destination and be in full control of when you put your kid back to their normal sleep routine. So you don't want to be there and then now you've got to wait for the hotel to bring up that bed and your babies continue to be cranky. So make sure you call ahead and get that situated. And then the last tip for this section is do a little research ahead of time into what toddler type activities are offered at your destination and make sure you sprinkle some of those in. So we travel with 2 teenagers, Jake and Gianna are 14 and 12 at the time of this viewing, with our almost 2-year-old Olivia. And so we need to even things out. What's something that the older kids will like, what's something that Olivia will like, and or what could they do together? So the planning aspect, and maybe that's more unique for our vast age gap in our children, but that planning aspect is a little bit more important now that you have a toddler. And then finally, as we wrap up this video, our last tip, and probably the most important one, or the one we wish we would have known and are fully adopted and understand before traveling with a toddler, is that you have to expect for things to go wrong and you have to be okay with that. So nothing, as much as we want to plan things out, is going to go perfectly. And so just having some patience and trying to be less stressed out the entire time and enjoy your vacation is going to be really important, but truthfully probably very hard. So I personally struggle on the plane when anytime Olivia makes noise or kicks the back of the seat and I'm over here frantic, worried about what everyone else is going to think. But I need to learn to just relax and let the kid be a kid and say sorry when it happens. And so there you guys have some of our top tips for traveling with the toddler. If you have a tip that you feel needs to be incorporated in this video, drop that down below in the comments. And while you're at it, please make sure to hit that big like button, hit that red subscribe button for more travel tips, adventures. And most importantly, remember, life's an adventure. Who are you going on it with?